up, my fellow HHN obsessees, and welcome to the HHN Obsession Podcast, where we talk about all things HHN and obsess together over this amazing event. I am your host, JJ, and with me I have the co-host of the show, James Guadalupe Ramirez Anderson Lopez Jalapeno Garcia the Fifth.
James. You could just call me James. You can leave out all the jalapeno and the spice.
Well, James, I am freaking excited to be back recording because last night, Horror Night Nightmares dropped an amazing surprise. They dropped their second edition of their speculation map for HHN33. And a lot of it is different. So I am very excited to get on here and discuss this.
Yeah, I'm recognizing some stuff, add-ons to some stuff we already knew and some new stuff. And I think I have some thoughts that you haven't, so I'm excited.
Ooh, there's some juicy discussions ahead, possibly. But real quick, what's really cool and I guess like a crazy coincidence is that yesterday our speculation map episode that we did a couple episodes ago just reached our top most listened episode, and it actually beat last year's speculation map episode that we did. We only did one last year because we kind of went on a hiatus, but it beat that one yesterday, and now it's the top most listened episode. So on the day that it became that, we get a new spec map that drops. So I thought that was kind of cool. Apparently people like the spec map discussions because they're our top two episodes right now. And that is, I think a good part of that is in thanks to Horror Night Nightmares. They do share everybody's posts whenever they get tagged in like a speculation map episode. They kind of help share them. So I do think that they did help us get some of those views. So a big thanks to them for always sharing the speculation map post.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, you can't argue with numbers. You know, we're getting some attention. It's nice.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I'm stoked to get started on this discussion because there is a lot to talk about. There is, again, some similarities, but a lot of it is different. And this is kind of the time where you start to see the event forming. Like you can kind of tell like what is true, what is not. Like it's all starting to take shape at this point. You can kind of see it happening. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into this thing. Everybody get out your speculation map images. Be sure it's version 2, and you can kind of look at it with us. First of all, because we talked about it first on the last episode on version 1, let's just go ahead and point out that the rumored Harold and Kumar show is no longer on the map, and there's no longer even a second show on this map. Which it is a bummer that the comedy show rumor is gone, but it's even more of a bummer that there's no rumor for a second show at the moment. Last year really lacked a second show, and it really needed it with all the crowds and stuff. Having one show really, really hurts the event just of how crowded it gets. What I'm really hoping is that the Lagoon show that they're about to open this summer, they are going to have something for Horror Nights that they'll just surprise us with when we get a little closer. Because the first year they opened the last Lagoon show, which was HHN33, they announced that there would be a Horror Nights version of it pretty last minute, pretty close to opening of HHN33. So there's a good chance it could happen again. They could announce it kind of late, and we might be surprised with that. So, but yeah, what do you think, James? No Harold and Kumar, possibly?
I mean, that's a bummer, but it's not like it was in our hands already. It was still up in the air, and I mean, rumors can cause reality, you know? I mean, it depends on what the people want and what they fight for. I remember I was at a Warner Brothers tour, and I asked about the Space Jam 2 rumor like 8 years ago, and they said, no, it's not real, but it could be. And then, you know, people wanted it, so, you know, it's never too late to cause...
I love that you keep bringing up Looney Tunes references because I feel like we've done that. We've done that before because last time we mentioned Looney Tunes Back in Action, I think it was on the speculation map episode actually.
Dude, I can't help it. It leaks out of me. I don't know.
But yeah. Anyway, I mean, the Harold and Kumar rumor. It was a weird rumor. Anyway, I mean, I didn't even know how that would be a thing at Horror Nights. It's such a weird thing that's not even in pop culture anymore. Like it's not even. It's kind of an old thing. Like I think even Bill and Ted is more relevant than Harold and Kumar. So it was a little
Yeah.
weird to me. But we'll see. Hopefully, a second show does show up.
Yeah, definitely something of that caliber, with the buddy and the comedy. Anything. I'm
Yeah, we need a
still
comedy show.
still
That
still
that's
open.
just that's just what I think. I think we needed some kind of comedy show back. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the first icon, which is a returning icon from the spec map 1, but there is a slight change to it. So this is the Latin American symbol that we had talked about being the Monsturos house that was at Universal Studios Hollywood last year. So the very small difference that is on this icon is there is some trees in the South American portion of the icon. So rainforest is what it's alluding to, I'm assuming.
I don't know. I did notice those freckles on the thing on the map now. Didn't have those freckles before. You're saying they're trees?
They are trees, yes.
Dang, you got good eyes. Tiny little things.
So there was some discussion on Discord from some of the insiders that it is still going to be Monsturos from Hollywood, but it's just going to have some kind of uniqueness that Orlando's going to make. Possibly some kind of Brazil monster relation, maybe something from a rainforest.
Cool.
So that's where this is coming from.
The next chapter in that series, Monstruos.
It might not necessarily be the next chapter. It might be kind of, they're bringing this house over here and there is going to be similarities from the Hollywood one. But they're just they might be adding, some of their own material. I wonder, let's see, Brazil rainforest monsters. I'm about to Google this and see if there's something. Ooh, interesting. There's something known as a Mapingari.
Ooh, the belly button beast. That's your favorite.
No, it ain't.
He's like all belly button. All right.
Deep within the Amazon rainforest lurks a mysterious creature called the Mapingari, or Gari. Notoriously elusive, this cave-dwelling giant leaves a trail of broken trees and trampled ferns in its wake. Massive, hairy, and pungent, this beast protects the South American jungle from human threats.
My kind of guy.
It says it has a nasty habit of twisting off the heads of humans and devouring them. Ooh.
Homemade gusher.
I'm just ecstatic that this Monsturos house is still on the map and is still rumored to be coming to HHN this year, because it sounds like an amazing idea that I really want to see. I didn't get to see the Hollywood one, obviously, so it looks like it's a lot of fun. And I actually do hope that they do bring some of the Hollywood story here, because some of it did sound interesting. Like we talked about the Lechusa. We grew up with that legend, so I would love to see that in a house.
For sure.
All right, let's go ahead and move over to the next icon. So the second soundstage, which is soundstage 22, we have a female symbol with basically the Bride of Frankenstein's hair on top of it. So there has been a rumor going around that the Monsters house this year is going to be a gender swapped Universal Monsters house. So basically female Dracula, female Frankenstein, female Mummy, or it's either going to be that or the Bride of Frankenstein, Bride of Dracula's. What's interesting is a lot of the talk right now is that this is actually going to be another Hollywood property being brought to this year.
Yeah, I think I heard a rumor too. These are this house is going to be brought to you by the makers of the all-female Ghostbusters. They're making all-female Universal Monsters this time.
Oh no.
It's going to be like Bridesmaids with Kristen Wiig and all that, Maya Rudolph, the full cast, but they're monsters this time.
You're going to make people start screaming right now, so.
Just like the Bride of Frankenstein, screaming at existence. I relate. Let's all scream together.
So check it out. This was a scare zone from 2021 at Universal Studios Hollywood.
All right.
It was called Universal Monsters Silver Scream Queens. Great name. So it'd be so cool if they brought that over here and made it into a house. So reading the description here from the Hollywood Scare Zone, the Bride of Frankenstein is bringing classic female movie monsters back from the grave to strike fear into the hearts of men. Sinister sisters unite.
Nice.
The scare actors in this Scare Zone were the She-Wolf of London, Dracula's Daughter, Anck-su-namun, the Bride of Frankenstein, and Frankenstein's Monster.
Oh, snap. They listed the ladies. They got them down, the cast. Okay.
From Hollywood. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because the Bride of Frankenstein is definitely not female Frankenstein, so I was wondering how they were going to do the others. Like, you're not just going to gender swap them. They exist in the same stories, you know?
Right.
I was curious.
And there's also a rumor going around that this could possibly be a sequel to The Bride of Frankenstein Lives from HHN33.
Ah.
A continuation of that story.
I'm into it. We got the squeakle.
I mean, that was a great house to begin with. We got it for two years straight, and it was just, it's a house that I really do miss. I love the storytelling of that house, and I loved how it was a direct sequel to the actual movie. So if they kept that story going, I would absolutely love it. But I'm actually excited for this. Silver Scream Queens, I'm all right with it. I mean, it's not the creature from the Black Lagoon house everybody wants, but this sounds like a really fun Universal Monsters house. Hey, and maybe they will surprise us with a she creature from the Black Lagoon.
About time. All I'm saying. Hey, but I do like their little clue. It's cute. They got the little fro on the woman symbol. It's nice. I like it. It's a good vibe. It's like a stick man, little fuzzy fro. I like it.
So one thing to bring up real quick, since this is the first IP that we are talking about, looking at this map, there is 4 IPs. So they are saying it's going to be the less than 5 and 5 split that there usually is. What's amazing, too, is that if you really think about it, this Universal Monsters house could be considered original, too, because it's an original story. It's not based off the movies. It's based off the characters. So technically the characters of the IP, but it's technically an original house. So if you really think about it, we're going to be getting a 7-3 split. All right, next up is something that also has stayed on this map and is all but unofficially confirmed, basically. It is the Cadillac logo, and that is Ghostbusters. Everything that I've seen from the insider discussion on Discord and on the forums is that this is going to be at HHN, pretty much, is what everybody's alluding to. And Pinhead on Discord actually said that this will be a split house of different movies. From what he's heard, it's going to be the first movie, the second movie, and at the very end of the house, it's going to be a little bit of Frozen Empire. I'm not sure what to think about that. I would rather have a full house of just one of the movies. They did part 1. Well, let me backtrack real quick. Actually, if it was just 1 and 2, I would be okay with it being kind of a mashup house. But the fact that they're putting all 3, I don't know about that. I would rather just have a Frozen Empire house or even just a part 2 house, Yeah,
but, I wanted to ask you, how educated is that guest? Like, how informed is this informant?
I mean, I'm pretty new to the Discord, I'm not gonna lie, but from what I can tell, he does have a lot of in the know stuff, and people trust what he says from what I see on there. Like, don't take my word for it. Anybody listening, I have no idea. I'm sure he does actually know a lot of stuff, but this is all just speculation. This is just what I've been reading on Discord. Like, there's no truth to any of this, by the way. We should say that again. We haven't really said that this episode. So everything that is talked about on this episode today is pure speculation, and it is not true until Universal confirms it.
So it's all lies, folks. It's all falsitudes. All of it.
Okay. So one thing that I am going to mention right now is that we are recording this on Sunday, April 28th. Tomorrow, Monday, April 29th, Universal is scheduled to have a big announcement. They did tease this announcement. They put the date on the tease and everything. So there is something coming. And what everybody is saying and what all the little hints that they threw out, it does make sense. That they are just going to do a big, huge announcement dump of the new parade, the summer tribute store, the new Lagoon show, and DreamWorks Land, all in one announcement. And that is coming tomorrow. Here is what I'm hoping, and nobody has even talked about this. I'm just kind of guessing, just making a theory here, and you will know very shortly if it happened or not. But what if there's a possibility they do that huge announcement dump, and since Ghostbusters is part of the parade and it's going to be part of the tribute store, maybe even part of the Lagoon show, who knows? What if they're just like at the end of that announcement, they're like, oh, by the way, also Ghostbusters is coming to Horror Nights this year.
They're gonna put it after credits on the press release.
Yeah, so it would make sense to me if they did that, so they could just get it all thrown on there. But if something does get announced, we will jump back on tomorrow and record a little DeLorean future snippet to add on here. So you will know if that got announced right now. Did it happen?
Well, I'm past James, so you gotta ask the future guy.
I guess it didn't happen, man.
Oh man.
Guess we have to wait even longer.
Well, we're in the same boat still.
Oh well. Moving on to the next soundstage house, happening in soundstage 24A. So the location has moved for this one. This was on the spec map on version 1, but it has moved locations from a tent to a soundstage. Now, this could change. This could just be something they heard that is happening, but it could be somewhere totally different. Locations are not accurate usually on these maps, especially the early ones. So this could be totally off, or it could be completely right. Who knows? Now, this logo is the sound symbol with a big cancel symbol through it. So it's the no sound symbol, and that is for A Quiet Place. This is another one that the insiders have straight up said this is happening. Like they flat out said Quiet Place is coming. I believe I remember Pinhead saying that he actually has seen some stuff for this house. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I saw a message that he wrote saying that from what I've seen, this could be something that will surprise us. I don't know if that means that he saw a part of the house or he saw somebody mention something about it.
Yeah.
No
Always
idea.
talk about seeing, but you know he ain't heard nothing. For sure, definitely no sound has come of any of this. What's on that no sound stage?
Which I'm kind of happy about this because I just couldn't picture A Quiet Place being in a tent, because I feel like those sets have to be massive, right? I mean, the scale, the scope of those movies is huge. It needs a bigger venue. And plus the monsters are giant, so I mean I would think they would have to have at least some kind of huge puppet somewhere in the house if they're going to be doing that. Kind of like they did that with the Mind Flayer of the Stranger Things 2 house. They could do something very similar with the creatures of that house. Now, again, the question is this going to be the original Quiet Place, or is this going to be the new movie that comes out in June, A Quiet Place Day 1? So we've talked about this house a lot. I would love for them to do some kind of experimental stuff with sound, do something we've never experienced before in a house. I think that'd be really fun. But I also wouldn't mind if they did the Day 1 house where everything is like just super loud and the monsters, come after you. Because, I mean, that's going to make more sense for the house. But I don't know. We're going to have to see what they do. But this is all but confirmed, basically. It is unofficially confirmed by insiders.
Definitely. You get it? Definitely. All right. This isn't falling on deaf ears, right? I hope not.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop, man.
For now, I'll stop. Because the monsters, they're gonna hear, so I gotta stop.
Moving over to soundstage 24B, just the other side. Same soundstage, but the other half of the Quiet Place one. And that is the piece of candy icon again. It was confirmed that the rumor is that this is Sweet's Revenge Scare Zone being turned into a house. It's not confirmed that it's actually coming. It's just confirmed that that's what this symbol is referring to.
Well, I mean, that would be a solid
So
speculation if it's been in the past, and here we got a candy.
I mean, it happens all the time where scare zones become haunted houses. You know, Trick or Treat, Killer Clowns. I'm sure there's been a couple more than that, but I think it's going to be fun because what if they make this house more of like his actual candy factory,
Hmm.
like total Willy Wonka horror movie version? You know,
Yeah, not too much of a reach. There you go. That would work.
like the scare zone took place in the town fair where he made everybody eat his candy, but what if the house kind of shows where all the candy's made, or maybe it just expands the story about how he took over the town and the Halloween fair that
I want
happened
each room and each
in his little
scene
town.
to be like a Narcos show, like depicting like or Breaking Bad, how they like distribute the poison. There's like here's how they manufacture the poison, and here's the next scene how it's getting out. People are dying, and then it becomes like a full pandemic of just an outbreak.
I thought you were gonna say that you want every room to be like the equivalent of the Oompa Loompas
Oh,
killing
dude,
off every character.
they could be the ones in the sweatshops down there.
Yeah, man. I mean, this will be a fun original if this happens. I love Halloween themed based original ideas, so I think it's gonna be a fun time. I'm again loving that this year is looking like it's gonna be original heavy. That doesn't happen very often, and I'm all about the originals. So, and we didn't talk about this before. The previous years, your like top houses were always IPs. I don't know if you noticed that. Last year,
Hmm.
your tops were originals.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It was a different year.
seems like you're getting converted a little bit.
Maybe I think my criteria like changed somewhere in there. Like I started rewarding like not specifically because they're original, but just how they flowed, how they functioned, and they happened to be original last year.
Horror Nights has more freedom with their own original ideas. Whenever they get an IP, they kind of have restraints of what they
Yeah,
can do because of the studio. The studio wants certain things and wants it done a certain way. So sometimes it's not as good as they want it because it's the way that a whole nother company
yeah.
wants
It's
it.
not always best to color within the lines, Clarissa. All right, Clarissa. Remember, you can color outside the lines.
Why do you got to throw Clarissa
She
under the
knows who she
bus?
is.
Throw Clarissa under that purge bus, man.
I'm sorry. Clarissa.
All right. So moving on from the Sweets Revenge rumor, we're moving over to the Fast and Furious location, and that is still an unknown house. But, and this is a hard but.
Yeah. All right.
It says
Okay.
unknown original. It was an unknown IP before.
Ah, drama. We got drama.
We sure do. This is kind of a difficult thing because I love originals, but I feel like it's going to be such a waste if they throw an original into that location. I mean, maybe they can
Especially a
pull it
backup.
off. I don't think it's a backup. I just think it is what they had planned all along, but that venue is just not that great, especially with that split in the middle. So I just hope that they nail something down to where it works and it fits right in that location. That location hasn't had the best track record, so I would hate for a great original idea to get wasted on this location and it turn out not good because of the location. Maybe we'll be surprised. I don't know.
I'll tell you what I think.
Okay.
I smell hissy fit. I smell there was an IP on the fence about it, and they went like harumph, and they took off, and now we got backup house in the works because they gotta have backups. They gotta have stuff ready in case someone falls through. And you know who it was? It was Five Nights at Freddy's.
Mm-hmm.
They had it in the bag. They were like, hey, we're gonna make it, and then they're still last minute like no, and here we go. We're getting backup house original.
No, I absolutely agree with you. And yes, they always do have a whole, probably book of just ideas. They just kind of go down the list of what they want to do every year, I'm pretty sure, but
Yeah,
they
and
kind of
it
just
does
pick out of a hat maybe.
not necessarily Five Nights at Freddy's is the one that had their hissy fit, but I smell tantrum out here. Like someone last minute, they're still, I don't know.
So Legacy has pointed out that Universal did want Five Nights at Freddy's at the event, that they did attempt to get it. How far did it get? We will never know, probably. Did it get into like some further stages, or did they just kind of try it and they just immediately said no? Or there's this scenario.
What?
Why is this house so secret? Why do all the insiders not know what's going on in this location? Why is that the only one they don't know?
Yeah,
Right?
consistently.
What's up with that location? Either either way, something is up with this, because Universal is keeping it super secret if the insiders don't know about this one. Why this one? I think this could still be an IP, and they're keeping it from people, or these insiders were told, hey, can you just keep this one on the down low? Can you not mention anything about this? Pretend like you don't know. Maybe that's a thing.
Wow.
I just find it weird that all this time, there's all these rumors about all these other houses, but this location specifically is the one that has remained unknown for 2 maps. What if we're getting Five Nights at Freddy's all along and it's just super secret? I mean, if you think about what was the biggest IP from last year, what is a big IP that is worth keeping secret that happened recently? I would say it's Five Nights at Freddy's, isn't it?
I guess so.
What other IP would they want to keep secret that's not Stranger Things?
You got something in mind?
I don't. I was just wondering if you had any ideas, because that's my theory is maybe Five Nights at Freddy's is coming. They just have to keep it super on the down low because they want it to be such a big surprise, and maybe the studio wants it to be such a big surprise. They don't want people to know.
Yeah. I mean, if they're playing their cards right, I don't know.
Or it's just randomly just nobody knows what's going on in there, and it is an original house. I think it's a possibility that it is just something that's being kept really under wraps for a good reason, and this could be a big surprise for us.
I'd be annoyed if it ends up being Five Nights at Freddy's still.
Oh, come on, man.
That's my behind the scenes. I think there's some kind of drama going on. Someone got their foot in and out. They're not sure yet.
You cannot tell me that if Five Nights at Freddy's comes, you are not going to buy that shirt. You're not going to buy the hat. Give me a break. Nah. Come on, you're going to buy it. You're going to buy it.
For my tiny little baby sister, maybe.
You're going to rock it.
I watched the movie knowing almost nothing, and I was like, that little ghost kid, he's not a ghost, is he? Oh, he's a ghost? Oh, they're ghosts. Oh. And the movie didn't do it too great, and I was like laughing at a lot of it and not understanding most of it. Like, okay, maybe it was a good movie for the fans, maybe. For me, I was confused, and I'm not a fan. I don't know. I've given it a few shots. Maybe I'll play the games.
I'll admit, as a movie, yeah, it wasn't the best. I didn't really like it a whole lot. I feel like that idea is going to be great as a haunted house. I think it could be fun. But you got to think, man, this is Blumhouse's most profitable movie that they've ever done. Yes. There's no movie that they've done that's made more money.
Why is that sad to me? Dude.
Out of all the Blumhouse movies, that's the one that's made them the most money.
Oh my, wow. All right.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm. I know we're talking a lot about Five Nights at Freddy's and it's probably not coming, but I just think it's so weird that this is still unknown. And I think there's going to be something up with this house, but time will tell.
I think it's just the location is cursed. It only houses poopy.
I mean, it is Fast and Furious, so yeah. Makes sense.
What I'm saying.
Nothing's more important than family, James.
Hey, it's up in the air still because Vin Diesel lives there. They don't want to wake him up and move him away. That statue is not a statue. He stands there.
All right, let's hurry up and move on before people turn this off.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are moving over to the first tent, which is at the entrance where Fear Factor Stadium and Men in Black are. Before we talk about this, I'm really liking where Horror Night Nightmares has put these entrances, because this means a little less walking, I think. Again, this doesn't mean that it's accurate, but I hope that they're right when it comes to this. They actually have 2 entrances on that path. So the path that's right in between the stadium and Men in Black, 2 houses will enter there. And that's going to be for the 2 brand new houses, tent houses that are going up right now. So tent 3 and 4 will enter there and just go around Men in Black. That is a long walk, but that would mean that we would pretty much exit on the other side of Men in Black. So it's not terrible. My biggest concern was that those new tents were going to be entering over a DreamWorks where the parade buildings used to enter. And we have to walk all the way over there, past the parade buildings into those tents. If this is true, it is going to be a little weird not having entrances over there in the DreamWorks area. Horror Nights might feel a little empty over there just because we're so used to going that direction to enter a house. I just feel like them being spread out is a little more better. Although it is more walking, it's just going to be a little weird to me.
That's why you sign up for the shuttle pass. They'll take you around in the scooter.
And before we do talk about this first rumored tent, tents 3 and 4 have just started going up. They are being built. It is confirmed. We are getting 4 tents this year. Now, I am a little excited because apparently my theory was correct that we talked about a couple episodes ago. Obviously, this is not confirmed, but this is what insiders have said is happening. So basically, these brand new tents that are going up this year are replacing the parade warehouses because they're putting the new parade floats in the parade warehouses, so they can no longer put the haunted houses in there.
Mm-hmm.
However, those tent houses are not going to be permanent replacements for the parade buildings. They are going to be replacements for the old tents eventually. So this could be the only year that we see 4 tents as houses. Get what I'm saying? So there's apparently going to be a brand new building to replace the parade warehouses. So they would build that building and get rid of the old sprung tents.
So they say.
And I did have that theory last time, and I didn't hear it from anybody when I had that theory. I was just kind of thinking ahead of like what their plan was, and now there is insiders talking about how that is happening. This could be the only year that we see 4 tent houses. We could be getting kind of a warehouse venue back, and I'm all for that. Tents are great, but I did really love those parade warehouse venues. Which, by the way, the new ones, thanks to BioReconstruct on Twitter, always posting amazing photos, and they took a picture of the new tents, and you could tell that these tents are at least twice as big as the old tents. So it's kind of exciting, and they're much taller too. So
jumbo. They're not even tents. They're like I don't know what they're called. They're like covered.
Like the old sprung tents, they don't look like tent material. They look like they're like hard, like you could knock on them. You know, these new tents actually look like tents, though the material looks different. So I'm not sure. I could be very wrong on this. I mean, I don't know. I can't really tell, but just from those aerial photos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was picturing like if you ever see a basketball court and they got the tin roofing, and that's what I'm picturing. But I'm sure it's different material.
All right, so that's a little discussion about the tents again, but let's go ahead and start with this first tent on the map. That is going to be tent 3, and it is a popcorn logo.
The setting is the 20s. Orville Redenbacher invented the first popcorn. He is hungry for more, but he has dark secrets. He takes the children's teeth and he pops them like popcorns. Oh. He's the tooth fairy. Orville Redenbacher house. 2024.
Oh. Well, I mean, they wouldn't use Orville Redenbacher, but if they made that type of character like similar to him and make it like an evil thing, that is very cool. However, that's very close to Sweet's Revenge, though.
Yeah, but this time it's an old man who makes popcorn. Ooh.
Is that your only guess?
Yeah, I got the popcorn man.
Okay, I have 2 guesses of what this could possibly be, and I'm gonna go with the least likely first. Least likely is there was an icon at HHN33 called the Usher, and we did see him in the icon's house at HHN30. We did see like a little movie theater scene with him in it. This could be that Usher returning.
Oh.
I would love to see Usher. That is the icon that I would want to see next that I didn't get to see from past HHNs.
Yeah, I mean, like, The Weeknd had a house. Why not Usher?
Oh, God.
Usher.
James, we want to keep We want to keep our fans or our
You're gonna be
listeners. I don't
walking.
even know if they're fans, listeners at least.
I know. Hearers, passerby. Now you're gonna be walking through, and in your ear, you're gonna hear Usher, Usher, Usher. And you turn around, nothing's there. Nothing's there. You turn back around. Oh, it's Usher. There he is. You got on the
Anyway,
one glove.
I would personally love to have a house like that, have this icon return. I think it's a very cool icon. I love the movie theater theme. The guy who played the Usher still works at Universal. He actually does the horror. He actually does the horror makeup show every now and then.
Oh, nice.
So, you could still pop in and see him performing. He's still working for the park, so maybe he could return as the Usher. Now, there was some discussion. Yeah, there was some discussion with Legacy on the forums, I believe. Maybe it was Discord. I lose track, but he had he threw out like this message that was kind of hinting at icons happening. He said icons, and he did say 2 icons. He also said that they would be not related to each other. They'd be totally 2 different icons. So there's not a Jack and Chance situation that are like related.
Gotcha.
Now moving on to my other guess of what this could be. And I think it's way more likely, and I have seen lots of people guess this and have talked about this. Slaughter Cinema Part 2.
That makes sense. Yeah. I wonder how real that is.
It wasn't my favorite house at 28, but I did really enjoy it, and I would welcome it to come back. What I would like them to do is they did like 50s themed B movies, right? What if they did just another decade? 80s B movies. Or change it up a little bit, make it a little more interesting.
2000s spoof movies, The House.
Yeah. It was a fan favorite house that a lot of people love, so it would make sense that they would bring it back. What's it been, 5 years now? No, it's been 6 years. 6 years since 2018. That's a good enough time to bring another idea back. One of the insiders did hint at a fan favorite original returning to the event this year, that they had heard that was happening. So is this it? Could this be it? I also saw another post that more than one original fan favorite is returning this year. I want to see some of the older originals that we haven't seen. Like I said, Body Collectors. On the last episode we talked about Body Collectors. I really want to see that at an event. I want to see that come back. This is not related to this clue, but just saying.
Wouldn't be anything like carnival related or circus, because I'm getting that vibe too from the popcorn, and then Oddfellow had.
I mean, it could be, but that's more of like a movie theater popcorn bucket, though.
You think?
I think so. It's the classic movie theater popcorn container, bucket, whatever you want to call it.
No, I could see it in a ditch by a circus.
I guess so, but no, I don't believe this to be a circus. I mean, I would hope not. I would hope they wouldn't do another circus one right after the Oddfellow house. And I definitely don't think Oddfellow would be coming back the following year. I do think they're going to be waiting for that for like an anniversary year, 35 or 40. Have a Jack versus Oddfellow year. I don't think another circus house would be coming.
Good.
Oh yeah, you don't like the circus houses, so why even throw this into the ether? Don't even mention this, because then it's going to go out there.
It's on Fate or Attempt Fate, whatever. It just I thought it was worth mentioning because I thought you were going to say something about circuses, but you were all about Usher, and I'm not the biggest Usher fan, but I definitely not circuses. So I'm happy.
Not the musician, man.
I don't think I said the musician that time, but let's put that in the universe. Maybe we'll get an Usher house.
Okay. Next up, we have tent number 4, the other brand new tent, and this is a lantern, and it is an IP, and this is a recent rumor that has been going around. We did talk about it on the last episode. This lantern logo is the Insidious rumor. Lanterns are very often used in the Insidious movies whenever they go into the
The
God,
ether, the nether,
it's
hold on, the further.
the
There you
further,
go.
yeah. So it is a recent rumor that has popped up and it has gained a lot of traction. A lot of the insiders are pretty much saying that this is another one that's almost certainly coming. It's not as like hardcore locked in as Quiet Places and Ghostbusters, but again, I'm new to Discord, but there is a user named Audrey, and they have their icon as Audrey Plaza. It seems that they're an insider. I have noticed that they have been putting out lots of information, and they said that Insidious is definitely coming. That was a post on Discord that was said, a comment that was said. So take that with a grain of salt. I don't know how accurate this person is. This is all speculation, but this is what has been said.
I trust Audrey.
I think you just have a crush on Audrey Plaza. So I think that's why.
All right, is it her, dude?
So again, Insidious, the Red Door came out this year, and although that was the worst of the franchise, I think it's going to make a great house. And Insidious is going to make a great house no matter what. I'm excited for it. We missed Insidious at 25. We did see the Blumhouse Volume 1 where it was at the end of the house. And that was the best part of that house. So I'm all for Insidious. I think it's a perfect, like, scary house, good jump scare house. Something I want to point out is there is a song by Ghost at the end of that movie that has Patrick Wilson featured on it, the lead star of all the Insidious movies, and he directed The Red Door. But he is on the track, and it's actually an awesome song. And I would love to hear that song played at Horror Nights or just played through the house. It's already kind of a slow, eerie song, so it doesn't even need to be slowed down. But I mean, they could slow it down even more.
That guy's been hanging out with Jason Momoa too much.
Oh well, he was in Aquaman though.
I know. Now he thinks he's a rock star. Like
Well,
he's
he's
an
always
actor
sang. I
looking
think
dude.
he was singing. He sang in The Conjuring too. There was a scene where he was like singing Elvis.
Uh,
But it was his idea to get Ghost on
that is
the
cool.
soundtrack. Like he basically like asked them and they said yes, and then like he joined them on the song, and he's
That's
in a good
solid.
chunk of the song, and it's cool. It's actually one of my favorite songs this past year. I listen to it a lot. It's a really good one. So I would love to hear it at the event or in the house. So
Hey, but how are you gonna have a spooky movie and then you put on Ghost at the end? You're jinxing everything, man.
hey, Ghost is a cool band, man. I enjoy them.
I know, but double jinxing. You got already the spooky movie put on. You know,
It's
balance it out.
perfect, man. It's perfect.
I'm
They
gonna go
were
pee
they
my
were also
pants.
on the end credits of Halloween Kills. They did a song for that too.
Yeah, Ghost is cool. I like Ghost.
Any other things you want to say about Insidious? I mean, I'm ready for it. I want it to be there. I want that to be an option.
Yeah, I think I like Insidious. I think because Sinister is the one that I mixed it up with, and I don't like Sinister, and
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that they're so similar from the same maker in title. And here I am, like I already deleted one from my brain, and the other one I respect, but I constantly go back and forth. I don't know which is which, but Insidious I think is the one that is the good one. So, but
Mm-hmm.
that's my opinion, and either way, it doesn't matter because it's me. But I'm ready for it.
Are
I
you
didn't know that from the lantern, but hey, I'm ready.
are, are you ready for? Are you ready to tiptoe through the tulips?
Yeah, Tiny Tim,
Yeah, that's a
dude.
big part of the Insidious movies. I'm sure we'll hear that too. So.
Ooh, buddy,
Mm-hmm.
I love that man.
All right, we got two left, and we are moving over to the original tents, and those entrances on this map are over there by the Men in Black bathrooms and the Coca-Cola Freestyle building. Let's go with tent number 2. Let's keep going in order here. This is the one that I don't really know what they're referring to. It is a house that is black and white. So are they just being just straight up? It's a black and white house. I mean, black and white haunted house. Is that all they're saying?
Um,
It's an
looks like
original.
it's straight up. Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, from what's being talked about is that's what it's going to be. It's just a brand new original idea of a black and white house. Like people were saying it's not even going to be connected to the tribute story last year, like we had originally talked about, or
Oh,
people
we're
thought it
dropping
was going to be.
the noir thing.
We don't know. I mean, that was just rumors. That was just speculation. So I mean, I I don't know, and a lot of people don't know if this is still connected to that, or if this is just a whole new, brand new, just original idea that just happens to be in black and white.
Hmm.
I mean, it's something different that we haven't seen. We did see Dead Exposure Patient Zero at HHN28, which it wasn't really black and white, but I apparently the original Dead Exposure house was black and white. And then they've also done a Universal Monsters house a while back that was all in black and white. They've done it in the past, but it would be interesting to see some kind of original idea that's all in black and white. I mean, I wonder if it would take place like in the 20s or something that would fit the aesthetic of you walking through like a black and white movie or something.
I'm surprised at you because I thought it was gonna like reinforce the case files rumors. You know, the black
Well,
and white skull and the comics, and here we go, black and white more.
no, apparently that's out the window. Like that wasn't actually happening. That's why this icon has changed. Because remember, it was a
Hmm.
skull, a black and
Yeah,
white skull that was the same skull as the comic book.
yeah, that this was a extrapolation on that.
But now the icon has changed, and it is just a plain black and white house. And I saw a little bit of discussion on this, and I think they were saying that it is just a new original idea, is what they've been hearing.
Mm,
But
all right.
I mean, again, I'm just going off of what I was just reading off these forums and Discord, so
Yeah,
it's just what's being talked about. I mean, I have no clue what this could be. No idea, except for this symbol just means straight up black and white house.
I didn't think of it as like a change in the logo. I thought it was like an extension, or like maybe a double down confirmation kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was like, oh yeah, they're confirming it here, or like not exactly confirming, but they're like, you know, you're on the right track. I thought it would be like somewhat confirming of a thing, but I don't know. Black and white house. I don't know what to expect except a black and white house.
Mm-hmm. All right,
But
and on to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
don't know. No, I'm just the case files is I'm still kind of in the back
Are
of
you
my head.
bummed
That's
about
what I
that?
got. I'm not
Are,
bummed, but I'm still hanging on to that.
I mean, it's still a possibility. I mean, nobody really knows, so I could see you kind of wanting that comic book looking story in a house.
Yeah, I could see camouflage happening, like blending in with the black and white background, and then there's someone painted into it and come through it.
We are now at the last house, last symbol here. This one is very exciting for me, at least. This is another one that I'm going to let you go first if you have any ideas of what this could be.
100% confirmed. The Mummy, Brendan Fraser.
This is an original, man.
Ah, well, I'm hoping Mummy something. I don't know.
But
I'm basic. I see Egyptian. What?
you are correct, sir. There is some stuff I want to talk about the Mummy IP, but let me just say this first. Somebody posted somewhere that I don't know who this person is, but somebody saw something backstage coming from one of these tents that looked like Egyptian stuff, right? So that kind of got leaked, right? Before this house was a Greek mythology rumored house. Remember that? It was like a minotaur. So I can
Yeah.
kind of see how that got kind of mixed up with like Greek symbols, Egyptian symbols. It kind of makes sense how people could kind of misinterpret that, you know? This goes with what was said about this person seeing something Egyptian themed. I love Egypt stuff. I love mummy stuff. So an original idea based off some kind of Egyptian thing is great. I don't think we ever said what this symbol was. I apologize.
Right.
The symbol is there is a picture frame with what looks like an Egyptian like hieroglyph. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, hieroglyphic.
It's like in a frame, and then it's behind some ropes. That part is what's interesting to me. It's behind ropes.
Yeah.
Is that hinting at some kind of museum? Egyptian museum theme? And what I wanted to talk about the Mummy IP is the Mummy ride facade, and what's in the movie, I believe, is the Museum of antiquities, I think is what it is. That's the facade of the ride.
Hmm.
But I'm not saying that it's the IP, the Mummy. I'm just saying that it's interesting how there is an Egyptian museum logo going on here.
Would they have to put the IP thing if Universal already owns that IP, right?
It would
Then they
still
don't have to.
it would still technically be an IP, just like the Universal Monster. The Universal Monsters are an IP. So, but I just think they could maybe take some stuff from it and make it an original idea about, you know, mummies taking over an Egyptian exhibit at a museum or something. I don't know, but whatever
Nightmare at
this
the
is,
museum. Hey, Nightmare at the museum.
oh, somebody did make that joke on Twitter. I think they
Oh,
they put
really?
a Night at the Museum poster up and said, "Get ready for this house coming to HHN33."
Did they say it? Did they say Nightmare at the museum?
No, they didn't say that part. So,
Ooh, they missed out.
hey, but this is also where Nightmare on Elm Street was. We didn't mention that. Nightmare on Elm Street is off of the map, and I am so devastated. Apparently, this probably was never happening. That was my most anticipated rumor. Like, I really wanted that to be a thing. I really
Interesting.
want to see Freddy Krueger at the event. But from what it seems like the Wes Craven estate is just hard to get the rights for, and that's the whole reason we haven't really seen Freddy Krueger return to the big screen in a long time.
It's been the perfect red herring because it's prime time for it to come back.
It's the 40th anniversary, so it's like it is the perfect red herring. Like that would be the thing for Universal to trick people with.
Yep. But toss an extra bean in there.
I like that connection there, James. Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare at the Museum.
Yeah. Hopefully that is more of a connection than just in name in word. I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool if it still came to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't care if everyone shuts something down and then it turns out to be the real thing after, You never know till you know.
Anyway, please bring this Egyptian house to the event. I love that type of setting. I want to see it. If this is what I get instead of Nightmare on Elm Street, so be it. I'm still going to be sad about it, but one day it'll show up. It has to. It's not like it's never going to show up again. It's got to. It's at some point. Like someday they will get Nightmare on Elm Street back. I have confidence in that. Whether it's going to be 20 years from now, who knows? But it's got to come back at some point. We just got to wait. Just got to be patient. It'll happen. Any last thoughts on this, James? On this logo?
If this is museum style and you walk in and it's like, you're in a museum setting, and then as you go through it, it becomes more devolved and like, it's almost like part of the experience. Like that's something that Chucky got right. It was really cool. Like to give Chucky some credit, even though it's like a lot of people's least favorite house, they blended you through a fake house into a real house, and it was like I like that transition of reality into horror. So I want to see that more, if it's in this museum house or if it's in the Quiet Place house, when we're walking through, like, and then people start to get popped off and we're like transition into I like that kind of thing. So I hope to see that somewhere in these, wherever it is. I like that transition.
I can see that. Yeah, that's kind of a cool thought there. I just want to see some museum exhibits come to life, man. Just like Night at the Museum. But I want to see a horror version of that. So maybe that is what we're getting. But
I want
a
short cameo from Ben Stiller. I want him to be in the first opening night, first few seconds, and just get killed and then never come back.
Is it going to be Ben Killer?
That'd be cool, but I'm picturing him just as a one-off. Just I've seen him die in so many things, just hilariously. That'd be funny. Yeah.
Well, that covers the entire brand new spec map that HNN has released. There is still no scare zones known at the moment. I believe it was Legacy. I need to start writing this stuff down. There's just so much stuff that gets talked about I forget. But somebody mentioned that a possible Blumhouse scare zone, and then something else. There was like 2 IPs rumored. Oh, I forgot to mention that Legacy is referring the Universal Monsters house as Monsters.
Oh, Hers. Okay.
Monsters. I thought that was funny.
Man. Okay. I think I would buy that shirt.
I mean, I don't think that's what's actually going to be what's going to be called. I think he was just making a joke, but okay. So real quick, the posts that I had seen about the scare zones was that there's a possibility for a Blumhouse scare zone and then the weekend scare zone. I totally forgot about that rumor. So there's the weekend scare zone and the Blumhouse one. Now, however, we also didn't talk about the Fast and Furious location also being a possibility of the weekend being there. That could be the other big IP that they're trying to keep secret, a weekend house. So about a week ago, there was some discussion on Discord. Somebody had asked, is the weekend not coming? And Legacy said that he doesn't think it's a house. And then that Audrey insider said, I'm starting to hear it's a house on both coasts. So hopefully that can be cleared up soon. Previously, it was only thought to be Hollywood. What's interesting is the Hollywood spec map has an icon that is the weekend. So they're rumored to be getting a weekend house. Is that the unknown for Fast and Furious? Are we also getting it? Or is only Hollywood getting it? It's very weird if Hollywood would be getting it and not us.
Well, how does it usually go? It's not the same houses?
A lot of times it is shared on both coasts. The IPs are most of the time. But there is certain instances where it's not shared. Like last year they had Evil Dead Rise and we didn't. So But when Audrey said that, Legacy said, I'm getting conflicting information. That was his response. So there's kind of a back and forth thing about weekend actually being at the event. Is it a scare zone? Is it a house? Is it even there at all? But there is a weekend clue on the spec map for Hollywood. So that is an interesting thing to note.
Yeah, it would fit. It's a big warehouse. It's if you're going for a concert kind of style. Man, that could be it.
I think it'd be really cool to have the weekend come back as a house. You never got to see the weekend house at 31, but it was a lot of fun, man. It was something I did not expect to like as much as I did. That house was mostly based off his After Hours album. So people are saying that he could possibly do Dawn FM now, especially since the Horror Nights Overseas, he did collaborate with them for a house over there, and it was Dawn After Hours Nightmare. So he mixed his two albums together for that house.
Seems reliable.
That's another possibility that we could
very well be
getting. Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. That pretty much covers everything. I think we've discussed this map as much as we can. Like I said, there's a possibility that we could be getting an announcement very soon, so look out for that. We will be making episodes as those are released, and I am currently still working on a kind of a look back episode, or a couple look back episodes, where we kind of discuss our previous years going 27 and 28 and comparing those 2 years with 32, trying to figure out what was our favorite year out of those three, because those are our top 3 favorite years so far. So making an episode where we kind of discuss that kind of battle, and it's going to be kind of fun, so be on the lookout for that. Follow us on all our social medias: Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads. We are now on YouTube Music, and just give us a like, give us some reviews on Spotify. Everything is appreciated, guys. So we thank you very much for listening, especially listening to the speculation episodes. You know, if you're just coming on, listening to us, we really appreciate it. We hope you stick around. We know a lot of new people come on to these episodes, so we hope you stay with us. We're going to have as much content as possible. We're going to be covering the event throughout the season. James, any last words before we head out?
We will see you in the frog. There's going to be a frog this year. Just no one knows yet. You're hearing it here first. I'll see you in the frog.
That's just your go-to line every time. You just play off of that line, huh?
I've never mentioned the frog. This is the first mention of frogs. Come on.
And all those new listeners, we just lost them.
They flew away. You hear them buzzing away.
Anyway, that's the episode. We will see you later. Always be on the lookout, because there's always something strange in your neighborhood.
Busting makes me feel good.
You're damn right. Just wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while,
Hey everyone, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my good friend Zach Weber, who provided our intro and outro song, Heebie Jeebies. You can listen to the full version of Heebie Jeebies on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or anywhere where you listen to your favorite music. Thanks for listening.